Welcome back, everyone, to what I believe is now our 13th episode in our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. Now, this episode is going to be significant because this is where we will begin our second season in the European division, which is the Tier 3 division. Now, unfortunately, it looks like this is going to start much like the first season began because not only do we have a bad car, it is the worst on the grid. And you can also see our headquarters are the worst on the grid, but we're working on that. We're going to get there. That's going to take some time, probably at least a couple of seasons, I would imagine, to get anywhere close to halfway up this list. But the car is terrible. So let's take a look at our car right now. And so we start here, and the one thing I'm really disappointed in, I must admit, is the reliability is horrible for the most part. Now, we start out okay with our spec parts. Not too bad, 80% on all of those. But then we're down to 40. I mean, it's terrible. And the reason why I say it like that, now, first of all, why would we want to improve reliability on parts? Wow, that is no good at all. Okay, so let's see what we can work on here. Okay, let's work on, not concerned with performance, even though obviously performance is a huge concern, but I need these parts to be reliable. So we're going to go into our first race with terrible, terrible parts. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on the reliability. As soon as we're able to unlock the factory upgrade, we'll get a few more slots in here, so that will help. But you can see, I mean, at this point, this is bad. So I expect to have to make extra pit stops and just have no fun at all for quite a while. But if we look at, it's time to design some new parts. Okay, we're at the very beginning of the season. We need to get a good start. You can see our brakes, while still last on the grid, is the best of the bunch as far as the three pieces of the car that we can work on. I want to work on the engine. Okay, let's take a look at the engine. Right now we have a 37 engine. So as far as car development, what do we want to do here? Okay, I could choose here because at this point, we're not going to get done before the first race. So if I say, okay, let's just go ahead and extend this, well, that doesn't really help us right now because the very first iteration, the very first thing you do whenever you upgrade any part, you have to go with average. Then after that, you open up good and then so on after that. Well, so what do we want to do here? The biggest thing I want to do is I want to upgrade our potential. So you can see here we go from 46 possible to 66 possible. Also jumps us up to 57. So a nice size jump there. That's good. That's what we need to beginning, and then we can go on from there. But the biggest thing is that, or we could decrease the red zone. Now, what that does is, if you'll watch the reliability here, decreasing the red zone means that it will take longer before you risk a part breaking down. That's also a very good thing. But at this particular point in time, we need to work on trying to get our engines better for the long term, because what we can do is create an engine at 57 and then have our staff increase it up to 66. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Yeah, it's going to cost us some money, that's for sure. But that's okay. We're just going to have to live with that. The reliability is going to be horrible. Let's go ahead and confirm that. But we've got to get some better parts to our car, because right now I don't think any strategy we use is going to get us anywhere close to the front. All right, so we've got 7 weeks left on upgrading our factory. Let's head back out to here and continue on our calendar. So as you can see, our first race is coming up very shortly, and doesn't look like we've got anything going on in the meantime. Okay, so let's go ahead and there we go. We are ready to travel. So our car, again, 3 more days for our upgraded engine, but it won't really matter anyway because the reliability is so horrible. But if we look at improving our parts, again, still just way behind on that. All right, so it's going to take a while to get this stuff done. So we're going to hit continue. Let's choose a sponsor. And honestly, I'm not sure we can achieve any of these. I'm going to choose 10th because I have extremely low happiness with this, and really regardless of what we do. All right, let's see what we've got. Brakes, we're giving, see, there's a huge difference here. All right, engines are pretty close. Let's see. And then gearboxes are pretty close. Both of these are going to break. I think pretty much everything's going to break. Of course, this is going to make Sergio mad. Uh, Frankly, I'm not too terribly worried about that. And let's see, we're going to give this. So we're going to have to sacrifice one car, it looks like here, because these are just too far apart for the brakes. You know, gearbox isn't too far apart. Everything's going to break. So I'm kind of pessimistic, as you can tell, about this very first race. All right, so with that out of the way, I believe we're ready there. And let's go ahead and continue. Okay, so we've got our sponsor selected. We're hoping for a 10th place finish or higher, and our parts are fitted. So now it's time to get down to the business of racing. So here we are at race day. And so you can see the knowledge here. We've got race trim, 10% performance increase. And on the super softs, 5% performance increase. Our weather doesn't appear as though it's going to rain right now. Of course, who knows? I can't see very far into the future, so that may change. Let's take a look at our car setups. So you can see we've got great, excellent, and excellent here for 98%. We're going to be using the super softs and, of course, fill it full of fuel, which is showing for 8 laps. We need to go 9 laps on each stint to make it there. And then if we come over to Sergio's setup, he only got up to 90%, so I made a couple of small tweaks to his setup to get him very close to what the second car is running. So with these setups in mind, I believe we're in good shape there. I'm just really, really concerned about our lack of speed. We're going to, of course, be on super softs there as well. All right, and full of fuel. So what we're going to do here is use the least amount of fuel we can for this first race, and we're going to see what happens. If you remember, our car, in addition to being last on the grid as far as our performance, the other problem that we've got is that the various statistics of the car itself aren't as good as they were even last year. All right, so we're going to start, looks like 3rd on the grid and 5th. Okay, with that in mind, let's go ahead and get going and see how things go. So we'll have to keep our eye on the tires and see how they wear, see how worn they get, how hot they get. All right, so we're running 4th and 6th, and I'd expect that to change pretty rapidly here. But let's see. All right, so we're down to 5th now and 6th after 1 lap. Keep an eye on our fuel, see how that fuel savings is going. Remember, we need to go 9 laps on each stint in order to make this all work out. But we'll see how that goes. Looks like most everyone up front is on the super softs. So we're on even tires there. Let's keep an eye on our grip. It looks like for the most part, we're not expecting any rain soon. All right, so we're here on working lap 3. So it looks like our fuel is not going that well. Okay, Sergio is now falling back to 10th. That is definitely no good. But again, you can see he's holding up the conga line here. Wow. So he's falling back quickly. Thankfully, Rodriguez is holding his own for now, but our fuel is what has me worried. We're not going to make it on one stop, I don't believe. So we've completed basically 3.5 laps now, and we are not where we need to be on fuel for either car. Okay, so we've got some work to do. Let's spin our camera around here so we'll be able to see pit road whenever it's time. Okay, so pit stops are beginning as usual. The AI starts pitting for tires on lap 4 or 5. Okay, Rodriguez is now up to 2nd. Sergio up to 6th. And you can see here on the mini map the difference on the track that makes. Okay, so we are now we got 13 laps remaining. And again, our fuel is going to be extremely tight. All right, we're not getting any sort of temperature in the tires at all. So that's killing Our wear. Okay, so we've got condition issues. Yeah, we're gonna have to fix this whenever we come into pit. There's no question. All right, condition issues. Yeah, so we're gonna have a few condition issues. So I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet here, and whenever we come in, I'm gonna have to make these repairs. As much as I hate to do it, it's going to kill our finishing position, but it's something that we really don't have a choice about doing. These parts are not going to make it to the end. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're on lap 8. Let's go ahead and set up our pit stops. Let's see. Before we do that, let's go ahead and pause for a second. Do we have enough fuel? Wow. Okay, so they're separated, I believe, far enough on the track to do pit stops on the same lap, but not. We're simply not going to make this on with the repairs we need to do. Okay, so we're gonna have to set up pit stops. He's about to run out of tires. Can he make it one more lap? I'm gonna hope he can, because we need to pit here first. Let's put on more super softs. Again, I don't see any rain coming. Fuel options. And you can see we're not doing too great on that. So, in fact, I'm going to change this out. We're going to pit here first. Just because of those tires. I'm worried that he's going to blow a tire. And, okay, so we still don't show enough there. Balance. Now let's come back under parts. And let's fix these two, because we're going to have to. I don't see any way around that. So it's going to take 40 seconds. Okay. So now he'll be coming in very shortly. Okay, we're close here. All right, so Rodriguez is coming around first. Okay, he stays out. And so now we can go ahead and set up his pit stop because he'll be coming in next. Quick check on the weather. I don't see anything. Okay, new tires. Fill it full of fuel. And now I think we can make it here. And let's see. We need to fix that. Am I going to need to fix this? I probably better do that, because if I don't, I feel like we're probably going to be in trouble. I wish I could remember what the original was on that, but we're going to go ahead and fix that as well, and I think everything else should make it to the end. Okay, so did I fill it up with fuel? I did. All right, we're ready for his pit stop as well. Okay, so he's still running second. Now he's back to third, but we're still running not terribly bad. All right, so we've got Sergio in the pit lane. And so, of course, he's going to be dropping. Okay, so his pit stop is done. His car is in much better condition now, and he's done just in time for Rodriguez to jump in. And so we've got repairs going on. Refueling is done. Okay, excellent. All right, so we're exiting in 8th. Now, the key is, do we have enough fuel to make it to the end? I'm not sure that Sergio does. Okay? And we don't have enough speed to really dial up the wick any and get more speed out of these cars. I feel pretty good about Rodriguez making it. I mean, we're going to be right there at it. Right there at it. It's going to be extremely close. But I am really not sure about Sergio making it. All right, so we're running 6th and 13th. 6th place I don't think is going to last very long because they are on us hard and heavy. But keep in mind, they do have one more pit stop that they're going to make here probably in the next couple of 3 laps. Oh, now he's complaining about the gearbox. Let's take a look. Well, yeah, everything needs to be fixed, but unfortunately, we're not coming back in. If it breaks, it breaks. Because if we come back in, it's going to put us at the very back of the pack anyway, so we might as well take our chances with it breaking. All right, so we remain in 5th, and looks like some additional pit stops have begun. All right, so far so good. This is this is actually much better than I thought we were going to get. All right, you can see another car coming into the pits. This moves us up to 2nd. And for now, this is definitely a lot better than I thought we were going to get. Now, if we can just make it on fuel, then we look like we stand a reasonable chance of at least a top 5. Because I would expect us to fall back through the field as this race comes to conclusion. But regardless, I think we're in good shape for a top 10 finish at least. We see Sergio is up to 9th now, looking very nice. Okay, let's see what we've got here. And let's see. 3rd and 4th are closing in on us, so we're about to lose those unless they come into the pits. Yes, 1 is coming into the pits. So now that puts us back to 2nd. We'll see what Sergio is able to do here. He's in 8th now. And ignore that. Yeah, you're just going to have to ride with it for a few more laps, and hopefully it hangs on. So his parts are in bad shape. This is why we've really got to work so hard to try to get more reliability in these cars. Without reliability, the speed really just doesn't matter, because any additional speed you pick up will be lost in pit lane while you're making repairs. All right, so we're in 2nd. Looks like we're about to lose 3rd and probably 4th as well. But then after that, I see a lot of open track here back to 5th. All right, yep, I'm going to have to ignore that as well. This is just the kind of thing we have to deal with right now at the beginning of the season. Just terrible reliability, even though we worked so hard in previous seasons to get that done. All right, Sergio looks like is not going to make it to the end on fuel. So here he's coming around for his final lap, and yeah, he's not going to make it. So he was unable to save enough fuel, so he'll fall back through the field. But right now we're looking pretty good for a top 5. Do we make it to 4th? Yes, we finished in 4th. So we got a top 4 just outside the podium. So our lack of speed didn't kill us. It wasn't wonderful, of course. And you can see Sergio is falling back through the field quickly. So he'll get a position, I would imagine, on 20th. You can see he is moving very slowly. But we were able to come out. We were able to meet our bonus. We got a 4th place finish, much higher than I would have thought. All right, excellent. So we'll be back momentarily with morale as well as money. Here we are in the finishing positions. You can see Rodriguez comes home 4th, while Sergio comes home 18th because he ran out of fuel. He would have finished, I forget exactly where he would have finished, but it would have been somewhere around 12th or 13th, I believe. All right, let's take a look a little further. And so now that puts us in 6th position under the team championship. So that's excellent. That's what we're looking for. And we'll skip past these comments and move on to our morale page, which shows us any damage that we did to the morale. So Sergio has, wow, he has no morale whatsoever. He is not having a good time. So we're going to need to help improve that. Hopefully he will hang in there with us until we can get some better parts that will allow us to race better. So morale here, 80%. That's excellent. And improving our craft all around. We're stuck here. Relationship status is stuck with Sergio for the time being, but it is looking great here between Rafael and Rachel. All right, so let's take a look here. We're expected 6th. We came in 6th. So now we're back to 90% happiness here, which seems to be the maximum. No change in our marketability. So overall, I would consider this to be a spectacular race for us. Our finishing position, 4th, is much higher than I would have thought given where our car is currently. So that gives me a lot of hope for the future as we improve our car and improve our headquarters. Thanks for joining me on this episode in our Let's Play series, and stay tuned for more Motorsport Manager.